Okay, so today's lesson is the exponential curve. The standard equation is y equals a to the power of x. Now this is a little bit different to what we used to have. Now x is a power now, a is constant, the base. So make sure you understand. Now if we have x as a power, a is constant, for example, so exponential equation will be y equals 4 of power of x, or could be y equals 2 of power of x, or could be y equals 2 to power of negative x. Okay, so we can have a positive x and then negative x. Now, important thing about exponential curve is its y value will never be below 0 or even 0. Anything with negative power, you might think it's a negative y value, but it's not. So for example, if I had y equals 2 to power of minus 1, okay, that is actually 1 over 2. Okay, so it's still positive. Even if I had y equals 3 to negative 2, that will become 1 over 3 to power squared, which will be 1 over 9. So it's still positive. So anything you put x value, positive, negative, it's always going to be positive. So what does that mean to us for when it comes to graph? We got this y value, the x, and there. So all the y values will be positive, isn't it? So it's only going to be first quadrant and then second quadrant. So you will never have anything with on the below. Is that true though? No. You can have third and fourth quadrant if you have minus 2 to power of x, something like that. Then you have to have negative, because whatever the power, it will not going to be negative. So this is constant. Then you will have on the bottom. Until then, it will be first and second. Okay, so you can have third and fourth, but with when constant is positive, you will not have negative y value. Okay, it only happens when constant is negative, then y value will be negative, which is, this is all negative y values, and third and fourth quadrant. So another thing about exponential curve, we'll have asymptote. Okay, asymptote will be y equals 0 here. That's our asymptote, because whatever the x values, y will never be 0. It'll go close to 0, but it will never be 0. So for example, if I had y equals 2 to negative 0.001, if you put that in your calculator, I want you to have a go at that, and negative 2 to power of negative 0.001, you will get 0.999 in fact, so it'll be close to 1. And even we put y equals 2 to power of 1, even at 0, it will get 1. So you will never get, y will never going to be 0, but it will be closer to 0. So therefore our asymptote will be y equals 0. That's our asymptote equation. Okay, this y cannot be 0 is a condition, but asymptote equation is y equals 0. Okay, so it'll be curved, and then it will be closer to x-axis. So it'll be something like this. when it's a positive, if it's positive, it will go like that. So when it's a x is a positive, power is a positive. When it goes like this, when x is negative. Okay, now in here, what happens here? That will be 1. That's our y-intercept when x equals 0. So let's have a look. Y equals a to power of 0. Okay, because to get the y-intercept, x has to be 0. That will become y equals 1. It doesn't really matter what constant you have. As long as your power is 0, you will get 1. So both of them will go through 1, whether it's a negative or positive. Okay, so that's something that you have to remember. Okay, now we're going to actually sketch some graph of it. So let's have a look. First one we got is y equals 2 to the power of x. Okay, so that's positive. Okay, and positive x, and we will get so that's positive x. And then what's a y-intercept? Intercept is when x equals 0, so y equals 2 to the power of 0 equals 1. So our point is 0.1, and it's 0 here, x, y. Again, when you sketch graph, please use your ruler and use a pencil if you want, but it's a pencil that it's clearly actually can mark. Darker pencil will be better. Now this is actually positive, so going from the right to the left, and it will go closer to x-axis, but it will never touch. So I'm going to use my red pen to indicate my asymptote, which is y equals 0. So that's my asymptote. Okay, and now what happens if I want to sketch y equals 3 to the power of negative x? Negative x, so x is less than 0. So that means it's going to go from the left to the right. So I'm going to use another color, but it'll go through 1 on the y-axis, because when x equals 0, the y will be also 1, so you'll still go through it. So I'm going to name this. This equation was y equals 2 to the power of x, and this one was y equals 3 to the power of negative x. Now if you're not really sure about where it starts or where it's going to go, you can always substitute some numbers in it. So for example, if I put x equals 3, okay, x equals 3, if I put 2 to the power of 3, it would be 8, wouldn't it? So up here will be 8. Okay, so I know it's going to start from top and all the way down. So for example, if I had minus 3 here, I will have 1/8, wouldn't it? So it's a lot smaller. So you know it's going to start from here to go down. Same thing happens if you put minus 3 on the top here, what we'll get with this equation. So if you're not 100% sure, as always, you just put numbers in and see what happens. So, and also it's good to actually put some points in here on your graph, so you know what to look for there. I'll put here. So if I put 3 there, what will happen? When x equals minus 3, what will happen to this? So y equals 3 minus x, and x equals minus 3. So I can't see, yep. I'll go y equals 3 minus 3, which will be 3 to 3 and 27, wouldn't it? So when it's minus 3, oh, it's not very well scaled, so this should be 27, so minus 3, 27, something like that. So my scale is way off, but it should be going up somewhere, right up. Okay, so that would be good.